Ditch is back at it again on the Google reviews. He has changed his royal review to now add documents that quote-unquote prove that he needs this 24/7 care. He also made a review for Arby's, which has a lot of personal information in it. Let's get into this. So we're going to start in order of how the reviews are shown in Google reviews. This first one, we're going to start at the Miller Creek Community Hospital.
May not help me because not mental illness but developmental difficulties. But they do accommodate my disability, allow me my AAC device in the mental to help me cope and communicate as best as possible. Also allows me to use my earmuffs and stuffed animals. Really good things that help me. Also has a more comfortable unit than the other hospital.
I do know when Andy was with Royal in the first home he was at, he had to get moved to a rehabilitation center for the time being, and it seems like he got moved to the Miller Creek Hospital after the first rehab house. Now the next one that we're going to look at is the review for the Wengler Behavior Health Services. This is where Andy claims they diagnosed him with autism, but he hasn't shown any proof. And as we know Andy would love to show us his diagnosis that he got on paper because he wants to prove it into everyone's face that he did have autism. So it's funny how he doesn't show that he has autism for this post. In his other review of Royal, he does supply the SISA Evaluation, but not a paper that claims that he has autism.
The name says it all. I am finally diagnosed properly. This is not revenge porn. This is me speaking the truth about my diagnosis as autism and is not a lazy defiant or making it difficult for anyone. Simply just need help and support from others.
Now Andy does have some other reviews of some different food places. He has different reviews on some stores, and he also has a review on a playground. Now one of the reviews of one of the stores that he went to is RD Brothers Beer Store, him saying, holy cow, they have it all. Now as a person who's quote-unquote supposed to have autism, why are you getting alcohol, Andy? Andy went to a playground, which was called Best, and he made a review on it. Andy, for the life of him, cannot stay away from kids or children or any type of minors. My theory is that Nicole, one of Andy's old caregivers at Royal, allows him to play games with her underage son, more than likely took Andy to most all of these spots. That's what my theory is.
They got swings playground. They have swings in a playground for kids and people of all ages. For me, I am 40 with autism and all I care about is swinging on the swing set to help me regulate my emotions. Restrooms, I didn't see any bathrooms. Dog friendliness, I think this is not a dog park. Picnic area, I think they have one table.
Andy, what's been happening to him, what diagnosis he's got, what he's been doing at the St. Vincent's Hospital. This is where Andy talks about his AAC device that has a Safari browser, that he could still see Reddit and other websites, but he's not able to have the YouTube app because there's parental controls on it, which I find BS because Andy can just get to YouTube through the Safari browser and just use the website, not the app.
By the way, I have a communication device that has Safari web browser and I can see Reddit and other websites. I am not able to have YouTube app or other apps as its Medicaid device for ASC. My phone and tablet have parental control, like my desktop has. This is why I can't post on YouTube or social media. By the way, I am doing really well in my royal home with 24-hour care from other agencies. I am doing very well. This is why the doctors at St. Vincent has diagnosed me with autism and intellectual disabilities and ADHD for. And my review is not rage bait for people who bully me. But I like to show that my bully has no way to change my diagnosis and interfere with me. Because people understand that people have exploited my disability for their own motive and to make money off of me on YouTube. I care about other people's feelings. I try to understand other people's feelings. I can feel and understand a positive and a negative emotion of someone else. I just don't know how to respond to other people based on their feelings. I am still learning how to recognize and respond to other people's feelings. I need help from others to help me with how to respond to other people better. That is why I use AAC and have 24-hour care. If I didn't care about my behavior and others, I wouldn't be wanting or begging for the help and care I need in order for me to function with less behavior issues. I have autism and ADHD and intellectual disabilities that make impulsive decisions and I react to what my environment offers me. If my environment is not supportive or not accommodating of me, I have issues. This includes how others respond to me. How is having autism and intellectual disabilities lying, deceiving, or using other people for me to gain anything? It has nothing to gain from being in diapers and needing help with my health and personal care and social interactions with others. There is nothing wrong with needing help with day-to-day life. I am being responsible for asking for help, so I am not neglecting responsibility for my life or finances or refusing to work. Especially when I am disabled and need help from other people so I can work a part-time job like what I want to do. If I am being arrogant or grandiosity, then I am bragging about how smart and capable I am, not showing how weak and disabled I am. Having autism and intellectual disabilities and communication disorder makes it hard to maintain relationships and start having a relationship with someone new. Just because the autism and intellectual disabilities is not normal, or within the social norms of how others would expect people to be, don't make it anything wrong with me for having a disability. I am not breaking rules or social rules or regulations for being disabled. I have never used drugs or wanted drugs or medicines. I only want to have help so I can be able to do the things that normal people do, like work, interact with others, have a clean body and environment, and be safe to myself and others. This is why I am not having a personality disorder, as I am needing help and asking for help so I can function and participate in the community like anyone else does. Being in diapers and needing help with social interactions and making decisions and understanding what others are saying and doing so I can be able to respond to other people. If I don't understand something or have slow processing of information, how can people expect me to be able to know how to behave and respond and take care of myself? There is no cure or medication for my disability and diagnosis. The only way to treat me is by others to take care of me and show me how to do things like everyone else does.
The parental control thing hasn't stopped Andy in the past from posting to YouTube, so I just think it's more of Andy not wanting to give people more info on the calls to send it to other people, send it to these care homes, because these calls show Andy is capable of doing a lot of things, and him even screaming on the phone calls that he's capable of doing them. He's moved away from YouTube to do these Google reviews, but he doesn't understand anything that he posts on the internet proves that he's capable of doing it. He's capable of thinking, he's capable of looking at something that somebody posted, understand, and then come back with a response. I've seen people say that the Google reviews is just a temporary place where he thinks not a lot of people are going to be able to see these reviews, but he's going to go back to YouTube. He's going to go back making those videos because, as we will see in the reviews coming up, Andy is with 2 new agencies. These 2 new agencies are giving Andy everything that he wants for now, but once they start realizing that Andy's a pain in our ass, and he's calling us, and he's demanding stuff, and he's also quoting laws, he's more capable than what we thought. And then we're going to see Andy probably posting phone calls, spurging out, saying that you guys are abusing me, how dare you guys. So this Google review is just going to be temporary. On that note, let's go to the Arby's review. Now, the Arby's review shows us a couple things. That Andy's caretakers are taking him outside because he says that his caretaker had to change his diaper in the Arby's bathroom, which is going to be pretty gross for the next guy that has to come in and have to smell Andy's shit. Also got a response back from a service in Pennsylvania, which helps people enroll into other services if eligible in Pennsylvania.
Clean lobby and bathroom. When my caregiver brought me in one day needed to change my diaper. The bathroom was super clean. The food is fresh and good. The staff can be a bit more trained on disability person services. Other than that, this is a good and safe and friendly atmosphere for lunch and dinner. One more thing. I got a letter yesterday from the IDMH service office. I found out I got approved for the ID waiver for intellectual disabilities and autism and other developmental disabilities. I am going to be starting the waiver next month. I am scared because now I will have to work with all new agencies because my providers don't work with the CHC waiver. Now I should be able to get more services and care to help me with my life and to work on goals to help me improve. Food, 5 service, 3 atmosphere, 5.
Well, after that Arby's review, Andy would then go and make another review on Royal, an update on what Royal has said, done. Now, it's a lot more abbreviated than the last one that I covered of him making on Royal, but this one does have that Andy did an evaluation, and that this evaluation is supposed to show that Andy needs to have that 24-hour care, needs to have all of that. Well, I did notice that someone on the Kiwi farm said, this form means absolutely bullshit.
Update, huge update. Am I not faking? See attachment. I hate change really bad. The change made by Royal, who abused me and neglected my health and well-being, was very hard for me. Everything worked out in my favor with the 2 agencies who are taking care of me. I have my 24-hour care. I have my accommodations. I am doing things and going places in the community like my caregiver who got fired for no reason by Royal other than for Royal to take revenge out on me. All that is in the past. Now I have caregivers who are just like what Nicole was with me. My earlier review. Location, Holmes Street, Erie, Pennsylvania. Staff changes and retaliation after caregivers reported these hazards. Jamie and Philia, sisters and administrators, were fired. Robbie, the HR director, is soon to be out. Several other managers have lost, or are losing, their positions. Bathroom sink repair is simple. The bathroom sink still doesn't drain properly because they used 2 female-to-female fittings, which can never seal. Fixing it requires going to Value Home Center, around the corner, showing them a photo of the sink drain and fittings, buying the correct male-to-female connector. It's basic plumbing. Male fittings screw into female fittings to create a seal. Lack of basic care for roommates, although staff are scheduled from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. My 2 roommates receive virtually no assistance, no meal support or bathing. 1 roommate spends days in soiled diapers. No laundry help. A non-Royal caregiver recently cleaned the entire house, but Royal forbade them from working here. Royal has been cited for abuse, neglect, endangerment, abandonment, and HIPAA violations. Another agency now provides all direct care, illustrating how dire the situation has become. Neighbors and reputation. Local neighbors have started leaving negative reviews and check on us daily. They're appalled by how Royal staff ignore our basic needs and retaliate against caregivers who actually help. Forced self-direction and threats. A Royal caregiver, without authorization to speak with my own staff, informed them that I don't need help and can self-direct. When my caregiver tried guiding me step by step to organize my room, he took over completely and then reported that I'm supposedly independent. Royal is now using that claim to try to remove me from services. If they succeed, I'll have no choice but to seek placement in a nursing home. Summary of neglect and safety violations: firing caregivers who genuinely assist clients, leaving residents in soiled or wet diapers, denying showers and meal preparation unless staff are privately hired, no community outings or social engagement, physical hazards around the property, broken floor and railing on the wheelchair ramp, unsafe back porch and overgrown grass, non-functional smoke alarms, infestations of rats and ants. Management is consistently rude and dismissive when contacted, not allowing me to use my communication device. Threats and insults me for being lazy, or you don't have capacity yet you can use a computer. Gaslighting: we never did that, or you did that to yourself, or we tried to help you. These conditions constitute severe neglect and endangerment. Immediate corrective action is required to ensure our health, safety, and dignity. At the end of the day, I fall out of bed. Staff right there to help. I get diaper checks every hour. I get 3 meals a day. I have a dry bed. I have no skin rash. I get treated well. I can use my AAC device. I get help with practicing the skills I am working on in therapy. I get to play Fortnite. I get a routine. I am doing very good because I have 2 agencies WHO are helping me. This has to be bad for Royal. WHO tried to make me look bad for their neglect and abuse. What a difference when I call the on-call person at the new agencies. They treat me well.
So, as we can see, Andy's with 2 new agencies right now, and as I stated before, these 2 agencies are probably going to get really wise to what Andy is doing and what Andy can do on his own. Andy posted these pictures of supposedly is the SISA Evaluation. Now, I did notice someone on the Kiwi Farm said that they used to work and do these evaluations and how they're basically bullshit, and how Andy is trying to make it seem like this confirms his diagnosis and confirms his treatment.
So this is literally what I did for a living for a while. I entered these and other forms into electronic medical records and MARS so that at any time, a caregiver or admin could pull up all of the documents for an individual living under our care, either for a waiver program or due to developmental disability. Allow me to explain why this form means jack shit even if it is real. The SISA supports intensity scale. Adult is not used to diagnose, it's not used to treat. It's not even used in conjunction with doctor's orders. It's an assessment solely for the respondent, patient, to identify issues that keep them from living an independent adult life when there are developmental or intellectual disabilities at play. A doctor does not administer this assessment. The facilitator interviewer is usually a social worker. They sit there and guide the respondent through scenarios and score them according to the SISA scoring model. It is completely subjective and can easily be skewed by the respondent. An example would be, what are some things you like to eat, Andy? I like to eat whatever makes me shit the most in my diaper and fills my fat gullet. How would you cook that? Oh, I can't cook that, I need supervision. Okay, and how can you learn to be successful at preparing that without supervision? The word success is used repeatedly in a SIS interview. I don't know, I need dat help. That's the HEWP I need. What would the interviewer be forced to put down? Even if she truly believed that Andy was 100% faking? She would have to put down that he was both unable to answer the question in a receptive way and express what could help him become more independent. She would be forced to put down that Andy struggles with basic independent living skills, such as cooking, even if she knows 100% for a fact he is capable of doing so. This is a guided self-assessment. It means nothing. This cannot order, force, or otherwise make a care agency provide Andy with 24/7 care, or any of the things on this assessment.
I did do some due diligence to check if what this person was saying was true, and yes, what they're saying is true. This is not for diagnosing, this is not for treatment. The doctor's not going to order this. From what my research found is that this is just for planning and maybe getting some ideas of resources that an individual with any type of disability might need. It's not really used for what Andy is claiming that its purpose can be used for. So him putting this at the end of that royal review is really just stupid. So our last thing on Andy Ditch is that he was in his autism Facebook group saying that he's got to get off the internet, he's got to get off of social media because his doctors told him to, and it's just not good for his safety. Problem is Andy is still on the internet and he's making these Google reviews instead, because this post was from July 12th, and we found that Andy was making these Google reviews since then. So he doesn't really take the advice of getting off the internet.
Andrew Ditch, July 12th. I need to say that I need to get off of social media because I am told for my safety. I will not be able to be online for the near future. My doctor ordered that Facebook and YouTube be blocked on parental controls for my safety and being a target against bullying that makes me confused by my diagnosis. Bobby Starkey, that is the best. Social media is not safe. You do what keeps you safe. Take up some new hobbies. Leanne Gardiner, be safe. I agree with your doctor. There are many predators on social media. Good for you for being self-aware as well. Leslie Greer, very good advice. Enjoy real life.
So that's all the information that we have on the Poop Squatch so far. We know that he's going to keep making these Google reviews at this point. That's kind of his new place that he likes to post all information about himself. But we'll see how long these two agencies keep Andy from making YouTube videos, because we know he's going to go back to these YouTube videos. He's got to post calls, he's got to post all these different things and yell at these care workers, these social workers. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.